Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Hello and welcome to today's Battle Mech review. Today we're going to be looking at a brand new one. Well, yeah, still brand new. It's less than 50 years old. For Battle Mechs, that's still pretty new. A little mech from one of the older companies in the Inner Sphere, even though they haven't really ever been one of the larger one. LexaTech has been mostly known for their capability to build LAMs, namely the Stinger LAM, which is on their logo. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to, build any in the longest time, since Clan Novacat decided that having fun is not a nice thing, and leveled their facilities on Irece. Since then, they've mainly been focusing on their factory on Hunho, which is a very simple yet a straightforward little plant. They have been trying to get some money back from the insurance companies and stuff like that for the destruction of their Irece facilities, but as it was a casualty of war, not even a good insurance company is going to cover you for that. That's where building battle mechs can be a problem. If your facility gets damaged by, a regular thing, a tornado, a tsunami, something like that, most insurance companies will find a way to screw you out of money, but still get you what you were paying for. A lot of military facilities building mechs, however, well, they're going to be considered casualties of war, and casualties of war are generally not covered since the First Succession War. LexaTech also had another issue during the military drawdown from the Republic of the Sphere. The Draconis Combine used their company as a show of compliance. Basically, they were asked to modball any new model, meaning that they stopped the production of the Cerberus, which was their only newer mech and only thing that was really keeping the lights on. The other things that they were building were 9M archers and 6K grasshoppers. Not awful things, but they were just one of the many companies building these kinds of things. It wasn't until a Christmas party around a Kurita fried chicken bucket that engineer Hikaru Jenius had a very nice idea at looking at the original Stinger LAM and going, well, we can't make these fly anymore, but we could still be building them. He decided to draw up some plans with a bunch of his buddies and basically built a brand new combat-ready scout for the people at LexaTech. Their main customer being the Draconis Combine, it was easy enough to liquidate them as they were ramping up for war against House Davion. They do want to still restart their production of the Stinger LAM, but I am not sure how this is going to go. We will see. So the good news out of that is that they do have a new armored Stinger available. It's a 30-ton Stinger, so 10 tons larger, 50% bigger, and it has a very distinctive look due to the armored parts on it, which basically cover up some of the transformation material that would be used on a Stinger LAM that they can no longer produce. Pretty straightforward little design. The head is bigger, so the pilot isn't squeezed in like on a regular Stinger. The rest of the design is rather straightforward. You get a 180 light fusion engine from GM, which is fairly common and not super expensive, and gives you a top speed of about 98 kilometers per hour. Use the same kind of jump jets as on a regular Stinger, Chilton 360s, giving you 180 meters of jump range, which is perfectly reasonable. The armor is a ballistic reinforced with case, meaning that you are very well protected against missiles and ballistic attacks. You only get 6.5 tons, which is, 2.5 tons more than on most Stingers to begin with, but it's ballistic reinforced. So you don't have as good of a coverage normally as regular armor, but like I said, it deflects and absorbs a lot more hits from things like autocannons and missiles, which are very popular with House Davion. You get case as well. Very important little piece of equipment with a light fusion engine, meaning that if you lose a torso, well, you're still good to go, and you're still able to return the mech to the factory to repair it, which is not a bad thing. For weapons, well, it really varies. The basic thing is an ER medium laser in the gun mount, kind of similar to your original Stinger, while each of the shoulder mounts a missile rack. It really depends on what you're buying. Those missile racks are more or less plug and play. They're not quite as good as an Omnimex weapon, but they are in the same family of modular weapon. You can pull out that SRM4 and replace it with an LRM5 with minimal work. So you could have twin LRM5 medium laser, twin SRM4 medium laser, or like this one here, which is kind of the stock model, an SRM4, an LRM5, and an ER medium laser. You get plenty of double heat sinks to keep everything cool, so you don't have to worry about that. It's not as good as a regular Stinger at destroying infantry unless you use specialized missiles, which is not that hard to get. Communication system, tracking system, it's a basic Stinger. Nothing out of the ordinary there. OP900, OP911, super easy parts to find and replace. Is it a great mech? Well, the DCMS didn't think so at first. They only bought a limited production run at first to test the design. But as thing went on and they were fighting in the Dragon's Tongue, more and more of them were being ordered because commanders actually liked it. Pilots really enjoyed having something simple yet effective to use, and it wasn't requiring any special requisition or special combat demands to be able to get it. It's not as fast as your Jenner, but it's not as heavily armed as a Panther, but it's a nice in-between of the two. You get a limited advanced technology on it, so it's fairly easy to build and maintain. It uses the same kind of format as a regular Stinger, only 50% larger, so most techs will have experience fixing them. The armor is a little bit weird. If it's that ballistic reinforced, it needs to be casted. It's not the easiest thing to get, but it's still not a terrible piece of work. Atsuhari Toranaga ordered quite a few for the regiments he was in control of, along with things with Zaku 2s. They were able to have a lot more customizable, simpler models rather than Omnimex to bring to the front when fighting against either the Republic of the Sphere or Aus Davion. A lot of them were captured by the AFFS during either the Reconquista or their fight in the Dragon's Tongue, and they started using them as well, and they were considered quite good until the point that some officers asked to have someone produce it for them. Of course, LexaTech being a Kuritan company, they couldn't openly want to sell the thing, but they sold the license to a licensor of GM, Blackwell Heavy Industries, who started building the design for them. So we've got new variants coming out of it, which include, there's two different ones for Aus Davion. The most basic one replaces the ballistic reinforced armor with laser reflective armor, meaning you've got a better coverage on the body, which is really good. But, of course, don't get into a fist fight with this thing or it's going to fall apart. And it's one of the advantages of the armored Stinger over the regular Stinger. It is better in melee being 30 tons than 20 tons. This one is still quite popular, and it uses the same weapon array as the standard one, basically. The other one is where it's a little bit different. Rather than having those modular missile launcher, Aus Davion asked for MMLs to be installed, so you can switch them on the go, but the launchers are a little bit smaller. And the medium laser is replaced with a medium re-engineered laser, which is very good against specialized armor. The armor itself is replaced with ferrofibrous rather than a specialized alloy, meaning you still get very good coverage. At 6 ton on a 30-ton mech, you get maximum protection, which is enough for most people. I think this kind of thing will be getting more popular over the years. I'm not sure where it's going to go, however. We'll have to see what our friends at LexaTech or Blackwell decide to do. So I thank you for listening to me for so long. I hope you guys have a very nice rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.